my name is Christine. Welcome. Today's practice is all about accessing our inner power. So, what do I mean by our inner power? It's this capacity for us to really take charge of our lives, to really connect with the fact that we are actually in control of our destiny and that life isn't happening to us, but perhaps that we are in some way making life happen. So here we are. We are going to begin at the top of our mats. You may need a block. No, you do need a block. You do. You need a block today. So grab a block, stick it aside. Let's get started. Warming up with some Surya Namaskar A. So placing your feet hip distance, meaning right underneath the bony protrusions at the front here, getting nice and steady. The 3 points of your feet, the big toe mounds, the pinky toe mounds, in the center of your heel. And lift and spread your toes, put your toes back down. Feel lifting up through the quads and a tucking down in the tail as your tone in the belly. Let the shoulders up, roll them back, let the shoulder blades slide down, letting the palms open forward, Tadasana. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands right to the heart. Little tease. Inhale, reach up, feel nice and long. This time, dive down over your legs, full forward. Come all the way down. You can bend your knees as much as you have to be able to get your 10 fingertips on the ground. But then inhale, flatten out the back. Think about space in the sides of the body, the shoulder blades coming back, the tailbone and the crown of the head trying to get a little further away from one another. And then as you exhale, come back to the ground, touching the floor. Inhale, back up to the sky. Push the floor away with your feet. Big breath in as you circle up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, dive down over your legs. Inhale, flatten out the back. This time, planting your hands to the ground, let's step back to a plank pose. We're going to hold our first plank. How are we going to access our power if we don't access our core strength? It tends to be very symbolic. It helps us connect deeply here. So know that in any plank pose, you always have the option of resting your knees on the ground, but I don't want you to use this as a cheat either, right? So the idea is that even if your knees are on the ground, your tailbone is tucked, your lower belly is in, your shoulders are over your wrists, and you're keeping the back and the front of your neck long. And then if you happen to have the strength in the shoulders and in the core, you can lift the knees up and even charge up a little bit through the legs. Take a nice deep breath in. On your exhale, bend your elbows and lower yourself all the way to the floor. Point the toes, roll the shoulders back, inhale, cobra, keeping the lower ribs on the ground. On the exhale, tuck the toes. You can press back up to a plank on your knees or knees up, and then lift the hips back and up for downward facing dog. Pedal out your heels, we're still warming up a bit. Roll out your shoulders. Good. Get broad across the top of the shoulders. Feel the tips of the shoulder blades coming to meet towards the center of your back. Keep a little lift in your heels, a little bend in your knees, and try to lift your sit bones up a little bit higher. Keep a sway in your lower back as you intend your legs towards more straight and the heels towards the ground. Don't worry if neither of those things happen perfectly. The integrity is what counts. Take a deep breath in, and the exhale out of the mouth. Look up between the hands and step your feet, one and then the other, up to the top of the mat. Inhale, flatten out the back. And exhale, fold deep over the legs. Inhale, reach for the sky, pushing the floor away. And exhale, hands to heart. Once more, just like that. Inhale, reach up, big smile on the face. Exhale, swan, diving down over your legs. Inhale, flattening out the back. Exhale, hands down, step to your plank. Try to keep your shoulders over your wrists as you do it, right? So you don't like shift back and then forward again. Start already connecting with that inner power. Take a deep breath in, floating high above the ground. And on your exhale, you can come to your belly again if you like, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog if your back feels ready. And then exhale, pulling the navel in, downward facing dog pose. Settle into downward dog with a breath in and a breath out. Looking up between the hands, bending the knees, and you can do 2 big steps again, or come up on your fingertips and try hopping your feet up between your hands. Inhale, flatten it out. Exhale, fold. Reach for the sky, big breath in. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. Inhale, reach for the sky. Get nice and tall and long. Exhale, swan dive down over the legs. Inhale, flat. Good. Hands to the ground. Keeping the shoulders over the wrists as you step your way to plank pose, holding strong and steady. Big breath in. Exhale, chaturanga or to your belly. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Those oars, whenever I give you an oar, chaturanga or to your belly, cobra or to upward dog, those oars, those are those moments when you connect with your personal power. This practice isn't happening to you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you the options, and then you are taking the choices that are appropriate for you in that moment. You're letting the practice be your own. Tip forward to plank pose again. Good. Get really firm in your right hand so your knuckles are down, you're gripping with your fingertips, and turn your heels over to the right for Vasisthasana. Taking that left arm up to the sky. The oars are coming in right now. We've got options. You can put your bottom knee down, just like we do in plank pose. Have a knee down on the ground. Takes a little bit of the pressure off. How can I help you build your strength? Another option is you keep the bottom leg straight, but you take the top foot and place it on the floor in front of your hips. That can just be that next step, that next little bit more challenge to help you build your strength. Next option, you stack one foot in front of the other. Another option, one foot on top of the other. They're actually together. Wherever you are, sway your hips up high. And now take that left arm up and overhead. Try smiling, even if you're shaking. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, bring that left hand down, come to plank pose. Let's move through a flow. Take a breath in and plank. Exhale and lower, chaturanga, or to the ground. Inhale, cobra, or upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and let a breath out. Good. Make this practice yours. Come forward to plank pose. Take Vasisthasana on the left side. Left hand stays rooted down, rolling to the outer edge of your left heel. Take the variation on this side that you took on the first side. Bottom knee down, or top foot in front. One foot in front of the other on the mat. One foot on top of the other on the mat. Wherever you are, hips high. Lift high. Reach out of the fingertips. Keep broadness across the top of the shoulders, and then take that right arm up and overhead, reaching super duper long. And if you're shaking, know that this is your body getting stronger. This is you connecting with a power that is already inside of you. Take a big breath in. And then on the exhale, hand down. Plank pose, hold it high, big breath in. Exhale, lower with control. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Good. Let's bring the knees down. Come to a brief child's pose. Resting your forehead to the ground, hips to the heels. Finding your breath. Good. Coming forward, let's come to lie down on our bellies and take a block with us. It's right up at the top of the mat. Good. You can stack one hand on top of the other for a moment. Just place your forehead on the stacked hands. Pick up one foot, reach it back as you try to get a little longer, then do the same thing on the other side. Feet are about hip distance apart here. Good. You can reach your arms forward now. Your pinky fingers will be on the floor. Your thumbs will be up. Take a moment to walk those hands really far forward. Feel how that shrugs your shoulders up to your ears. And now, roll the shoulders back. The hands will start to slide back a little bit. And bring the shoulder blades a little bit more together on the back. My head is up, and I'm going to keep looking down at the mat so that the back of my neck doesn't shorten. All right, I want to keep the back and the front of the neck long. Keep that left hand pressing down, and on your inhale, lift the right hand and the left leg. Good. Use the gluteal muscle to lift the leg. Try to keep some length in the spine, and keep that length in the back of the neck as well. And then slowly release and switch sides. Left hand up, right leg. So you're going across the body. Strengthening up through the back of the body. When we think of connecting with our personal power, we're thinking core strength, and it sometimes means we think about our abs, which isn't wrong. Which isn't wrong. It's definitely a source of our power, but there's so much power in the universal, the back of the body. And release. Good, you can stack your hands again. Just take a moment to rest. Might want to wiggle your bum a bit. Good, we'll do the same thing, only this time, as you come forward, I want you to take that block between your palms and give it a squeeze. Good, this time we'll lift both legs and both arms, squeezing the block. Good, keep some length here. So think about reaching that block forward, reaching the toes back. Hold the block in the right hand, and then bring it around behind you. Take that left hand around, take the block, and then let's bring it back to the front. Whew, good, stay lifted. Left hand will swing the block around. Reach around with the right hand, grab it, and then bring it back forward again. There you are. Good. Right hand comes around. Hold it with the left hand, bring it back to the front. Keep the back of the neck long. Good, and then left hand brings it around. With the right hand, we bring it forward one more time. Good, squeeze it between the palms. Keep the back of the neck long. Try lifting a little bit higher. And release. Whew. Stack the hands, place the forehead down, bring your feet up in the air, and tick-tock your feet from side to side. The back of the body is a representation of the universal. Front of the body is the individual. It's where we're very aware. We're very aware of our movements. We're very aware of our thoughts. We're very aware of what we're doing, what's happening all around us. The back of the body is that part where we have faith and trust that there's something more, something in the bigger picture that maybe we just can't see. And fortifying our trust in that is part of how we access our inner power. Great. You can come up onto your hands and knees. Take your block with you, and let's come to lie down on the back. So letting that back of the body now press gently into the ground, feeling the support of the earth. Bring your knees up over your hips. And then press your lower back into the ground very intentionally, even feeling that your lower belly needs to pull in a little bit more. Place your hands on your thighs and create a little resistance here. Push the thighs away, but meet the resistance, if you will. So your thighs will meet your hands, and you'll create a little resistance. You'll start to shake a little bit. Keep that navel pulling in and keep breathing. Let's hold it here together for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, you can relax and then bring your knees into your chest and rock a bit side to side. The transverse abdominals are a thin layer of abdominals that are underneath the six packs and the obliques. And it's basically the abdominal muscle that acts like a belt around your midsection, and it holds everything together. And that is the core strength that sometimes we lose. That's what causes us to sway our lower back and stick our belly out and potentially have stabilizing concerns. So like sore lower back pain there, balance issues. So fortifying our transverse abdominals helps us to stabilize and reconnect with our power, reconnect with our center, reconnect with our stability. So let's do that one again. Just moving your knees away from the body a bit so that they're hovering over your hips. Pressing your lower back into the ground, pulling the navel in. That's the transverse abdominal right there. That's you connecting with that. Place your hands on your thighs. Press them away a little bit with the resistance. And then if you want a little bit more spice, you lift your head up and look at your legs. Continue breathing. Try smiling and hold it here with me for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Bring it back down. Rock side to side. Good. I'm going to take our block. We're going to place it on the right thigh and hold it there with the right elbow. Okay, so you're going to stay right there. And I want you to still press your lower back down, pull your navel in, and then create that similar type of resistance we just did in the last move by squeezing the block and the thigh towards one another. Now take your left leg up and your left arm up. Good. So we want to keep that lower back pressing down, keep that navel pulling in as we start to lower the leg and bring the arm up overhead. The moment that you start to arch and lose that connection, you know that you've reached your limit and you shouldn't go any further. We want to go to the place where we can keep the connection to the ground. And then on the exhale, lift it back up. Good. Can we do 2 more like that? Inhale and lower, slow and controlled. Keep the connection. Exhale, lift. And once more, we want to keep our connection to the universal. Good. While we connect with our personal power. Great. We'll do the other side. So get that block over on your left thigh. Hold it in place with your left elbow. Extend the right leg. Extend the right arm. Connect lower back to the ground. Pull navel in. Good. Start to lower both arm and leg just to that spot where you can keep your connection. Exhale, lift. Twice more. Inhale as you lower. You might need a few extra breaths. We're here for a bit. And then exhale. Once more. And exhale. Very good. You can move your block to the side. Wrap your arms around your legs. Rock side to side. With your left hand, hold the outside of your right leg. Start to bring your legs over towards the left, keeping your right shoulder down, extending your right arm out, even turning your gaze to the right. You might want to shimmy your shoulders around a little bit so you feel like your upper back can actually stay on the ground. And then see if you can just soften a little bit here. Just soften a little bit here. Connecting with our inner power must come from a place of softness. Otherwise, we start getting into what we're talking about, ego now, right? Talking about the type of power that can be destructive and harmful. We want the type of power that can help us to do good in the world, help us to do good in our lives. The type of power that helps me lead a life that is in alignment with my values, with my inner truth, and a life that is in alignment with being of service to others. On your inhale, bring those knees back up to center. With your right hand, hold the outside of the legs. Use your exhale to settle into this twist on the other side. Shimmy your shoulders if you need to. Turn your gaze. Try to get soft. This is the soft side of power. Trusting in the universal. Connecting with my own sense of personal responsibility. And doing all of this in service. Inhale back to center. One more squeeze, the knees to the center. Pulling under the backs of your legs and rolling on up to sit. Placing your hands together at your heart, thumbs against your sternum, fingers fanning out, and then bow your head gently to your hands. Feel your heart beating in your chest. Feel your breath upon your fingertips. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.